And it doesn't really matter how old you are. You know, if you can do it when you're younger, well, that's fantastic. Do it.
안녕 친구. Hello Korean learners. My name is Nate, who is a Korean teacher at this Edible Korean Teacher channel. I have met so many Korean learners and realized everyone has their own method to study Korean. And Korean learners don't have many opportunities to meet other Korean learners. So I think it would be helpful if I share how other Korean learners study Korean, so you can try their method and find the most suitable method for you to improve your Korean faster. So now, let's go! I want to hear your thoughts about this. So age and language learning, I researched a bit, and experts say after 10, so as in 10 years old,
Yeah.
your ability to learn a new language declines. What is your opinion about this age and language learning?
If you're learning a language, you're never a native speaker of it. I think no matter how old you are, I think unless you grew up in that country learning that language, there's always, holes in what you learn. Personally, I think, well, and for anybody, I mean, language is, if you want to do it, just do it. Doesn't matter how old you are. I have a teenage daughter who was doing Chinese last year, and said to me, "Mum, you're too old. That part of your brain is dead. So you and try." And I said to her, "Well, that's why you do it too, to keep yourself sort of alert and active. And for me, I now have time. I didn't have time 10 years ago. I had small children. I had to wait. I wasn't going to try and do this while I had, kids running around. So I now have some time to myself, and it just happens to be at my age. So I'm 54. So it was just the time to do it for me. I've always wanted to learn another language. I guess the other thing is you have to really be passionate about the language that you're learning, because it is time and effort. Before you continue, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. If you're not invested in the culture of the language, I think it becomes a bit superficial and it becomes too hard. You've got to really love the language, the culture. As I said, I went to Korea. I just loved Korea. I loved the history, everything about it. So for me, there's that sort of passion there to get it right, so that when I do eventually go back, I'm respectful of it, because that's what learning a language is about, is respecting the language that you're learning and where it comes from. And it doesn't really matter how old you are. If you can do it when you're younger, well, that's fantastic. Do it, and do it the best you can. And I don't think age should stop anybody. It's more about committing time, because that's what it is. It's time. It takes up time of your day, of your week. So, if you're 30 and you want to do a language, but you're working 80 hours a week, you haven't got the time. So it's got to be about that as well. And it just happens to be that this is the time I can do it. So I'm doing it.
What is your goal, Jodie?
I think my goal, like I said, just to be able to travel to Korea when we can travel again, and be able to speak politely to whoever I'm speaking to, because, as I said, over there, that's really important to them. So for me, just the fact that I loved the country and I loved everything over there, that makes it more important for me, I think, to, when I eventually go, to get it right when I am speaking. So that's my goal, just to keep pushing along with you, slowly, surely, getting it right as we go, fixing it when it's not. And yeah, just to be able to sort of be there and at least communicate.
So I hope you enjoyed watching my story and what inspired me to start learning Korean language. Join Songsang Nimnate and the Edible Korean family by hitting like and subscribe down below. And leave a comment. Nate would love to hear from you. Annyeong 친구.